Thanks for tuning in to Steel City Football, the 4-1-2. It's a great day to be a Pittsburgh Steeler. Let's jump right in. I was just thinking about this a few minutes ago. If TJ Watt gets traded from the Pittsburgh Steelers, this could be the end of Coach Tomlin's time as the head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, I'm not blaming Coach Tomlin at all for TJ Watt getting traded. There's always a business side to things. I'm sure that Coach Tomlin wants TJ Watt to be a Pittsburgh Steeler for life based on his production, and that's it. Coach Tomlin knows that he needs TJ Watt to have any chance of winning a playoff game or getting to a Super Bowl. Now, I expect the offense for the Pittsburgh Steelers with Aaron Rodgers, DK Metcalf, an offensive line that I expect to be improved with two huge questions, our left tackle and our right tackle, Troy Fontanu and Broderick Jones. These guys are huge question marks at those positions. But I do have faith that the offense is going to be much better than it's been the last 7 to 10 years. Now, if TJ Watt gets traded from the Pittsburgh Steelers, I don't think the Pittsburgh Steelers will make it to the playoffs, win a playoff game, and they're definitely not going to the Super Bowl. When you see the production of TJ Watt, he is just unreal. He is absolutely phenomenal. He's a once in a lifetime player. Last year alone, in 2024, he won the Pittsburgh Steelers 4 to 5 games alone just with his play. If the TJ Watt wasn't on the Pittsburgh Steelers last year, Coach Tomlin doesn't finish 500. He probably finishes 3 to 4 games below 500. Now, I know this is a hypothetical. Let's just hypothetically say TJ Watt gets traded, goes somewhere else to play. We've already seen Alex Highsmith. TJ Watt gets double and triple teamed, and you think Alex Highsmith would have more than 7 to 8 sacks a year, and he just doesn't get sacks. He's always manned one on one. He doesn't get the sack production that you would think that he would get. If TJ Watt's on one side, every year should be getting 10 to 12 sacks when TJ Watt is double teamed and triple teamed. Now, Nick Herbig. If you put Nick Herbig and Alex Highsmith, do you think the defense is going to run the same? I don't think it's going to be the same defense at all whatsoever. You have to talk about the TJ Watt effect on the entire defense, on the defensive line, at the linebackers, and in the secondary. With TJ Watt on the field, he makes all three levels of the defense better. He definitely makes the defensive backs better because quarterbacks on the opposing team know they got to get rid of the football in 2 to 3 seconds. Now let's go back to Coach Tomlin when he had Big Ben, Troy Polamalu, and James Harrison. Those players came from Coach Cower. If Coach Tomlin doesn't have those players, he does not win a Super Bowl. He does not win a Super Bowl. Coach Tomlin at one point had Big Ben, Antonio Brown, Le'Veon Bell, and still couldn't win another Super Bowl. Do you really believe that if the Pittsburgh Steelers get rid of their best defensive player, he's not just a guy, he's not a regular, every team in the NFL has a guy that's absolutely sensational. He's more than that. He's a legendary. He is better. Statistically, TJ Watt is better than Lawrence Taylor and Reggie White. He is statistically the best pass rusher to ever play in the NFL per snap. It's proven. And I really believe that if TJ Watt gets traded, as good as our offense is going to be, it's going to be greatly improved. I predict we're going to average between 28 and 31 points a game, and that's a lot in today's NFL. But if you can't stop anybody, you're going 8-9, 7-10. I forget how many games there are at this point, 17, 18. You're winning 7 games for the year. If TJ Watt gets traded from the Pittsburgh Steelers, This could be the final nail in Coach Tomlin's coffin because it's one thing to finish 500. It's going to be another thing when the Pittsburgh Steelers start finishing below 500 by 2 or 3 games. And as great as Aaron Rodgers is, as great as DK Metcalf is, as great as our improved offensive line is going to be, if you cannot stop people on defense, you are not going anywhere. I mean, look what happened in the playoffs last year against the Baltimore Ravens. I mean, Russell Wilson was absolutely atrocious. I knew we had no chance going into the game whatsoever. The defense was on the field the entire game, but they couldn't stop anybody. I believe that if TJ Watt's not on the field, and not just the physical play, the morale of the defense is going to go, it's going to be so deflated that it's going to go. If the Pittsburgh Steelers had a top-notch quarterback, not even a top-notch quarterback, if they even got decent quarterback play last year, they're in the top 5 defense. The defense was on the field the entire game, every game. So they finished like, I think 11 overall, 10th overall. And if TJ Watt's not re-signed, they're probably going to drop to be over the rank, like number 20 overall in the NFL. They're going to fall 10 spots out of where they were, where they finished last year. It's one thing if you're an average coach and you have elite players on your roster. It's another thing when you're an average coach and you have no elite players. When you have decent players, above average players in the NFL. If you're an average coach in the NFL who doesn't scheme well, who's not really particularly great at clock management, you need superstars to win Super Bowls. Now, if you're a phenomenal coach, if you're an incredible coach and you have superstars, you have dynasties. Andy Reid, Kansas City Chiefs, Coach Noel with Terry Bradshaw, we all know how many Super Bowls they won. That's different. But if you're an average coach with average players in the NFL, you're not going to be 500. You're going to fall below 500 in the NFL. This brings us back to TJ Watt. Out of all the defenders that the Pittsburgh Steelers have right now, now Cam Hayward, I would put him in the elite category, but we all know he's on the downside. He played great last year, 8 or 9 sacks. He didn't fall off productivity. But TJ Watt is a superstar. Again, last year alone, he won 4 to 5 games. If he's not re-signed, then what? What are the Steelers? They're not going to, they'll be in every game. I predict that they will be in every single game, but lose at the end because they can't stop any offenses. This could be the final goodbye to Coach Tomlin, his tenure in Pittsburgh, if TJ Watt gets traded. I want to know what you think. Leave a comment in the comment section. Let me know do you believe what I'm saying? Do you think if TJ Watt gets traded, this is the end of Coach Tomlin's career in Pittsburgh? And I don't mean that it's not Coach Tomlin's fault that TJ's getting traded. I just mean if Coach Tomlin doesn't have that superstar, he's not going to get the same results. And think about it like this. The Pittsburgh Steelers are not a 3-4 defense. That's a lie. That's a fallacy. They're a 4-2-5. They have 4 base defensive linemen. They don't mix up the blitz packages. They're not a 3-4 defense. This isn't Blitzburg with Dick LeBeau. This is basically a 4-2-5 defense. Whatever you want to call that, but it's not a 3-4. You know exactly where you're getting your pressure from. Every offense that lines up knows exactly where the pressure is coming from. So if you take TJ Watt out of that equation, other offenses in the NFL are going to have an absolute field day with the Pittsburgh Steelers because we all know that Coach Tomlin does not like to mix things up. Now, there's been some reports out there. Beanie Bishop has said that they're mixing a little bit more coverages. But again, if you're in a base 4-2-5 defense, it's not a 3-4 where defensive tackles are dropping back into coverage. You got 4 linebackers doing different things, giving different looks, bringing different heat. It's very basic. And in today's quarterback-driven league, you could be an average quarterback and have a great day against the Pittsburgh Steelers. What's the only thing that stops that? TJ Watt. When offenses line up to play TJ Watt, they know they have to get the quarterbacks know they got to get the ball out of their hand within 2 seconds or he's sacking you. And for that statistic alone, and the amount of games that TJ Watt wins the Pittsburgh Steelers single handedly, TJ Watt should be paid whatever he wants. And I know that Coach Tomlin's probably home thinking to himself, man, I really hope they sign him because if they don't, Coach Tomlin is in trouble. And this could be the end of his tenure with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Thanks for tuning in to Steel City Football, the 4-1-2.